from the Xfinity Lounge. This is the PHLY Eagles postgame show presented by Bet365 and Ashley. And the result for the Eagles and the Chiefs, a little bit tighter than the last time they played, but the same winner as the Eagles go into Kansas City and come out victorious 20-17. Bo Wulf, Vinny Curry, Jamie Lynch, Les Bowen. We will hear from Fran Duffy and EJ Smith as the show goes on. But we begin, Vinny. Let's send it around the horn. Give me your big takeaway from this Eagles victory.
Oh, man. I think we have a star in the making with Andrew Mukuba.
Oh.
6 tackles. You know, the young kids call it a boomstick hit. Interception. A sack. His presence was felt today. Chat, you guys got to agree. His presence was felt today.
He did get run over by Patrick Mahomes, but he bounced back by then laying the wood on Hollywood Brown, and then the huge play picking up the interception. Although I do imagine, you tell me, Vinny, when they're in the meeting room, is he going to get guff for getting chased down by an offensive lineman?
I think he didn't see him coming. I want to say the old lineman. He just said he had the angle on him, but I think he definitely will get a couple you got to get that speed up. But I just think the man was balling. That's not going to matter.
All right, Andrew Mukuba gets your nod. How about you, Jamie?
My big takeaway is ding dong, the Chiefs are dead. They are completely normalized. They're another run-of-the-mill good NFL football team. They are no longer the big, bad, scary Kansas City Chiefs, and the Eagles have killed them.
I mean, rest in peace.
Spot the lie.
Chief Slayer.
Yeah, but I just think psychologically, that is over. That mountain has been conquered. The Eagles do not care that it's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid anymore. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid were 21-4 combined straight up, coming off of a loss at Arrowhead. 0-2, which they rarely ever do. Everything.
They're getting all the calls in this game.
I was going to say, there was a couple calls that were a little shady there that Raj was cooking up in New York. Everything was in the favor of the Chiefs having the ability to win this game, and it didn't matter. The Eagles persevered. Mukuba comes up with a game-saving interception, and they got it done. And the Chiefs are dead, and let's dance on their graves.
All right, Les Bowen, how about you?
Yeah, my takeaway is that 2 weeks in a row, the only 2 weeks we've had this season, the opponent has committed a turnover that has been the play of the game. Miles Sanders last week, Mukuba, the interception this week. It's been that one play. It's been so tight, and the Eagles have not committed a turnover. And while I was very frustrated with a lot of the looks of the offense for quite a bit of the day, the fact that they didn't turn it over ends up being the difference once again.
That's well said. That's probably the way that Nick Sirianni wants it. All right. And then for me, the big takeaway, and I know I see the people in the chat already going crazy.
Oh, we're going to get to Patullo.
The passing game is leaving a little bit to be desired. I would like this team. This is an impressive win, all of that stuff, and we will give them the flowers that they deserve. I would like this team to remember that they have Devontae Smith and AJ Brown on the team.
Yeah,
it was the 12-minute mark, maybe even less. It might have been the 9-minute mark of the fourth quarter where they said the Eagles didn't even have a pass past 6 yards on the line of scrimmage.
Dude, let's not forget that AJ Brown is one of the best deep threats in the game. Let's not forget about that. I think the chat,
they threw 2 balls deep downfield the whole game. One of them was called pass interference, and then they picked up the flag for some reason that nobody knows. And then the other one was a completion to Devontae Smith that was, if not for the Mukuba pick, probably the play of the game.
I'm telling you, it was mind blowing to keep seeing in slant routes.
Yeah, and some of it is, listen, the blitz is coming, so you got to get the ball out quick, right? And that is part of what their design was coming in, but that can't be your only answer.
Right. I mean, one of those plays when they send A.J. Brown in motion, my man. My man didn't even look back because it was crazy, bro.
He's like, I don't know. I can't even. If I let my eyes see this, I might start crying.
But you know what, man? I feel like he's calling the plays not to make a mistake, but you just got just go for it, man. This is Philadelphia. You got to get some guts.
But that goes hand in hand with what you were saying, Les, is playing not to make a mistake in this game kind of was the difference.
Yeah, it was, but I don't think you can play the whole season like this.
I
think something's going to happen. You're going to turn the ball over, going to pop out
Yes.
somewhere. I do think you have to throw the ball down the field, and I don't understand why they can't scheme people.
Mhm.
Open. Obviously, Hurts has not been comfortable with anything he's seen either week downfield. Really,
Yeah.
I want to know more about that. I really do.
And then let's not forget, like, one-on-one coverage. I don't think not a DB in the league could cover AJ.
No.
You know what I mean? So,
I think he had the highest contested catch rate in the entire NFL last year.
That one-hand catch he had today was even crazy.
Was that was insane.
It looked like a pissed-off one-hander, too. Like, you know,
Give me it.
yeah.
I agree with you. And then, even the one downfield to him, it looked like it should have been pass interference, and then they didn't call that one. But I'm with you guys. Jalen Hurts in this game finishes 15 of 22 for 101 yards to go along with 9 carries for 15 yards. And we will get to why that is so low, as you see it there from Jalen Hurts. But it is, I believe it was DFOP Joe Kearns who said this that I saw. But it does feel like Jalen Hurts is playing better than he did last year.
Yes.
And the offense looks worse than it did last year.
That's
And
funny,
it's hard
isn't
to
it?
believe that those two things could be true at the same time.
And you see the fire in his eyes. So especially, listen, the communication with when he was trying to hurry up on the ball and talking to
And he
his
goes to his
guard,
Tyler
that
Steen,
He just had
yes.
that fire in his eyes. I'm not sure.
Which
if
you don't usually see, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was pissed off about the calling himself, play calling,
Yeah.
or he's just like, yo, look, let's open this thing up a little bit more. So I just think we just seen a hungry dog out of Jalen Hurts.
You could say today that they missed Dallas Goedert, I think.
Yeah.
They only completed a couple passes to tight ends, one to Granson and one to Calcaterra.
Right.
I don't think the run blocking was as good from the tight end position as it would have been had Goddard been there. Before Kelsey handed the ball to Mukuba, I was thinking that was a huge disparity in the two teams because Kelsey was having a very good day, actually.
And yet, without Dallas Goedert, we still saw like a ton of heavy personnel.
Yeah.
Why are we leaning into 12 personnel if we don't even have our best tight end on the field?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, let's put the best players on the field.
Man, I just God
We
damn.
shouldn't be so negative. I mean, they did,
Yeah,
they
right.
did go
They did
in
win.
and beat the Chiefs, and
Yes.
and the defense was fantastic. And so we should talk about the defense in a second.
Right.
But there is a difference here because it's the beauty of doing this show, where intellectually I can think, okay, it's the second week of the season. This is a first-time offensive coordinator, first-time play caller. He deserves some grace. He's going to theoretically get better as the season goes on.
Can't get worse.
He's going to understand, the flow of the game better. Maybe the game plan stuff will be a little bit more interesting. And yet I'm here after this game that they just won an impressive game on the road, and I'm like, throw the ball downfield, please.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think we all spoiled, man. We want to see our playmakers make plays.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
Yeah, I wrote, we have our instant reaction piece up with you and Fran and EJ and Rich and everybody kind of contributing there. And one of my lines was like, it's weird because Jalen Hurts is playing great, yet the offense feels so bleh.
And I think Jalen is seeing it really clearly
So
right
do
now.
I.
Yeah.
I think he's playing some of the best football he's played. But what was the final stat line tonight? 120 yards?
22 for 101 yards.
101 yards. And this is bizarro world because normally if we have a stat line like that, we're like, oh, the sky is falling. The Eagles are doomed. And here we're saying he's playing his best football with
They're
101
throwing a lot of
yards.
horizontal passes.
Yes.
Seems to me. Those work sometimes.
Yes.
Good to see them work a little more.
They work when they're a little bit less expected, I feel.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the defense, and let's do that through the prism of the forward play of the game. And we have already talked about it. Your boy, Vinny, the play by Andrew Mukuba.
Are we going Drew or Andrew? I think we need to get ahead of this.
That's a good point. He prefers Drew, so we should
But
honor
like the
his
league
wishes.
and team, I've seen tweet Andrew still.
Yeah.
We'll call him Drew.
I mean, I think today he earned Drew.
He became Drew today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Drew Mukuba with the play that changed the game, Vinny.
I'm trying to tell you, and I want to give credit to Uncle Vic, man. He's my boy Bill. He's scheming it up out there, bro. He's putting the right players in the right position to make plays. You gotta love it. You could kind of feel the energy transfer from the TV from us watching it.
And he's going to make adjustments.
Yep.
Vic Fangio, like Mahomes runs for 60 yards in the first half.
Yes.
He ran for 3 yards in the
Wow.
second half.
Right. Look how much fun Darius was having out there.
Darius Smith, a very
he made
impressive
some
debut.
good plays. That was a good signing.
Yes.
No doubt about it. Came in, had a split the half sack with Drew Mukuba, had another TFL, had another pressure.
Yes, his presence was felt out there.
And I think they needed that.
I think it's the best Eagles belly shirt jersey performance since Timmy Jernigan.
I'll take that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we all know I'm biased.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I'll take a good Timmy Jernigan story if you got one.
We all know I'm biased when it comes to Timmy. That's my
But
guy.
he looked great today. I mean, a tackle for loss, a half a sack. He was out on another play in the flat. He looked spry.
Telling you, smiling, having
He looked
fun.
ready.
Yeah. I was kind of like, I don't want to say surprised because he's had a great career, but I was
but he didn't
very
have
impressed.
He wasn't in
Yeah.
training
Goes
camp.
out and plays.
Nick was out there passionate with him. You know, it was good to see. You know, it was good to see. It was very
Great
embracing.
sign.
How hard do you think that would be, Vinny, to come in and play a game without having any training camp?
He gonna be sore tonight. He gonna be sore tonight. You know, man. He. But you know what? When you having fun doing what you do, it's all worth it. So and he couldn't came to a better team.
Okay, so it's not the game that he's going to feel it. It's tonight and tomorrow and Tuesday.
100%.
Where's he going to feel it?
Yeah.
Man, probably hamstrings.
Okay.
Little shoulders. You know, because he made some good plays today.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jimmy.
How difficult is that coming in? Like, I know he has some familiarity with the Vic system, but how hard is that to like pick that up? Because I don't know, Ed Bo, if you have his final snap count in front of you or not, but to play, you know, probably between 15 and 20 plays.
No, a player of his caliber, no, it'd be
That's
easy.
a piece of
Yeah,
cake.
yeah, it'd be easy for him. I mean, he's been a playmaker damn near his whole career. You know, just coming in and
Terminology-wise, things are all
probably the same. Yep.
okay.
The snap counts are still.
And I'm pretty sure Coach Waj got him up to speed quick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think what you were saying about Vic, though, like getting the guys in good position, this is a thing that he talks about. And sometimes it's, you know, every coach says this, right? It's my job to put the guys in the best position. But I think you can actually believe it with Vic. Yeah. And part of it is like he changes what he calls based on who's out there. You saw in the Super Bowl, he didn't blitz a single time. Today, he's got guys like Mukuba and Jihad Campbell out there who maybe aren't fully caught up to speed, but you know that they can do stuff coming downhill. And he dials up, you know, like 6 or 7 blitzes in this game. Point. And I think that is a good indication of that.
And he showed us if he can't trust you, your ass won't play.
Yeah.
If he don't trust you, it don't care how much money you made, how much you signed for, where you came from. If he don't trust you, you won't play.
Remember Keely Ringo? When he used to be on the team.
He's still there.
He made some good plays on special teams today.
Yeah, I know. But my point is, Vic's not putting him out there. You know,
yeah.
I mean, he's not even in the conversation. We're talking about last week about how bad Adoree Jackson was, and he wasn't great today. He did have a couple nice plays. But so we talk about Adoree Jackson. We talk about Ja'Cory Bennett coming in. We don't ever talk about Keely Ringo coming back and taking that job. It's just not good.
I thought Ja'Cory Bennett was like in the right positions a lot today. He made a couple nice plays. I know, like,
I mean, he had like 4 snaps.
He looked better than Adoree Jackson.
Right.
Yeah. Although Adoree did make a good play downfield.
Yes, he did.
At the end of that game.
He did.
Now, I was going to say your boy Quinion on the touchdown there at the end, but I do not think that was his fault.
I was going to say, I think that was an exciting Mike's fault.
Yeah. No, it looked like it was just a miscommunication.
Yeah. And a good design. Coverage. Yeah. But you can't get beat over the top
and
there.
And when it comes to Q, I mean, guy over here. So we're going to say it was miscommunication.
He almost closed, though. What are the closing speed on that? He got closer than I thought he was going to.
Now, since we talked enough about the Mukuba play itself, and we will get to it more, I think Fran's going to break it down for us. But I do think we need to talk about the other play of the game, which is the play that was ran several times in this game. And that's my other takeaway is, I mean, soak up the tush pushes now because it is not going to be a play again next season. No. They are absolutely going to ban it.
Broadcasters are going to like...
Guys, I'm done with talking about the tush push, guys. Like, do your job, dude.
Yeah.
And if it's so easy, some other team take it over and run with it. You know, like it's over.
I won't be surprised if a couple of those tush pushes get turned in this week, saying that false start. That's all they kept saying. That's what they usually do.
Yeah.
So then the next time they do the tush push, they're going to be looking for the false start, and then I won't be surprised if it throw a flag on it.
You're probably right. This is what we saw a couple years ago. They'll be over judicious about it, and whether the guards are jumping or not. But you can't really tell. I mean, when the ball was snapped on those.
But we have a couple Quinyanamo Bay custom emojis going up right now in the chat.
How can people join that?
If you want those custom emojis, you can join us here at the Supporters Club. You can join us. There's 2 tiers. One gets you behind the scenes footage. Other can get you emojis. We have a Brandon Graham behind the scenes, kind of exclusive for members of the Supporters Club. But you get a literal badge of honor. You get custom emojis from us here. And I saw the Quinyanamo Bay floating. We have the Vinny Saquon in there as well. So if you want to become a supporter, very easy to do so.
And Julia, do we have the tush push counter? We've been counting these.
This was
all
much
year long.
debated throughout.
And look at this. This is fantastic. So 2 last week. Now 3 there is one where the Eagles lined up for the tush push and got it, but then drew the offsides. And so it didn't technically count as a tush push, but we're going to count that. And then you see the grayed out ones there, the unsuccessful. So the Eagles on the season, we will call it a 7 for 9 on the tush push. Although that second, I think both of those ones that they didn't make it, they then made it on the next one.
Right. It's crucial that neither of the misses resulted in them giving the ball away.
Right. And I also think, like Nick throws that challenge on the one on 3rd down before the 4th down. And it's the same thing that I was angry about at halftime. I mean, do you trust the play or not? Like, just line up and get it again.
Yeah.
My boy Nick wanted some TV time. That was a good throw.
That was a good throw.
That was actually, off foot.
And, he held the release, too.
Yeah.
If you got it, flaunt it, I think.
Yeah, that was a weak end of the half.
Yeah, I'll get to that later. You know what? I think you were right. I think I was hangry. I think because I'm not as angry anymore.
Okay,
and
good. The pizza and cheesesteak. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was angry.
I mean, it was a frustrating first half. It felt like you should have gone into that. We are very spoiled in this town.
Why
Let
are
me
you
admit that.
so angry? I know.
We're back to our natural state. But it did feel as though you should have had a lead at halftime, and you went in kind of limping tied, and it just felt yuck.
Okay, well, maybe we will get maybe Fran Duffy will lift our spirits when we talk to him on
He
the other
usually
side
does.
of this ad break. But for now, we take a quick break before we hear from the Duff Man. You just cannot get stuck at a friend's place for the football game if they don't have a good setup. And you know what the telltale sign of a good setup is? Xfinity. Because Xfinity is the ultimate sports destination. You can find the best games and your favorite teams all in one place, and the way you watch is next level. It's the perfect fan flex. You get all the action right in your living room, plus Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K, so clear it feels like you're in the stadium. Sometimes you can get 4 games going at once because why not? On top of all that, you get real-time notifications and live stats right on your TV. It's the best seat in the house every time. Next game, make sure that the big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box.
And let me tell you about the car I grew up being crazy about, the Ford Explorer. It was the car I always wanted. And luckily, I eventually got my father's hand-me-down. And I just felt like the coolest dude in the world. I got my own Ford Explorer. They've been on the road for decades, and they're one of the best SUVs out there. A legacy of family, trust, and performance. Now they have up to 3 rows of seating. You can get up to 7 passengers, so they're great for families, road trips, going to sporting events, whatever it may be. A choice of 3 powertrains, including a hybrid if you're looking for better fuel economy. They got the 2.3-liter EcoBoost engine with power and efficiency with up to 300 horsepower. Packed with the Ford Copilot 360, a suite of advanced driver assist features, range management system, and offers up to 87.8 cubic feet of cargo storage with the rear seats folded down. It's got rear passenger seats, standard Apple CarPlay and Android Auto across all trims. Built for families, but ready for adventure. A true do-it-all SUV. For more information, visit your local Ford store.
Some numbers as we're back here on the PHLY Eagles postgame show presented by Bet365 and Ashley on how the Chiefs offense performed against this Eagles defense. So Patrick Mahomes, 16 of 29 for 187 yards, 1 touchdown and the interception, was their leading rusher by far, 7 carries for 66 yards, while Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco combined for 18 carries for 53 yards. So a very good job by the front of the Eagles defense against the run. And then Kelce, 4 for 61. Tyquan Thornton gets that 49-yard touchdown, 2 for 59. And as a team, the Chiefs had 5.2 yards per play, but that was sort of boosted by the long pass at the end and the fourth quarter stuff. And so an overall impressive performance by the Eagles defense. Obviously, the Mukuba play changes the complexion of it all together, but I think it's a good time for our expert, Fran Duffy, to come in and let us know what he thought about this Eagles defensive performance. So joining us on the Xfinity mobile call-in line. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is Fran's Film Room, presented by Ashley. The Duff Man.
Let's get some thumbs up for the Duff Man.
Thumbs up for the Duff Man. The Duff Man. Very nice.
Hello, Fran.
What's up, Fran?
Fran, are you going to make us feel better?
Going? Yeah, we had an Eagles win. What's there to complain about, right?
Eagles fans never complain.
No, there's a lot of interesting things that I'm most excited to kind of like go through the all 22 with tomorrow. But I will say, like, you know, this is a tough one to kind of disentangle because it could have been a lot better. Obviously, it could have gone the other way as well. You had drops from the other team. You had some penalties that went both ways. So this is a fun game to break down.
Okay. Well, where would you like to start on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, let's go to the defensive side. Look, I did a couple of Drew Mukuba plays. I do agree with you guys that I think he's officially now it's Drew. Like I think that's what he wants. I think he has earned that. But then also I did want to take a look at that final touchdown just because I've seen a lot of the social reaction has been like, oh, like what's Quinyon doing?
Yeah.
I don't think that was on Quinyon Mitchell, but we can get into that as well.
Okay, great. Well, let's start with the interception first, because what goes into it aside from being in the right place in the right time as Travis Kelce coughs it up.
Yeah, this was actually a play that the Eagles ran to Zach Ertz dozens of times for touchdowns. Zach Ertz caught a touchdown on Thursday night against the Green Bay Packers.
Yes.
We saw this kind of play. So let's go to the first one here. Julia, it's Mukuba INT1. And basically what you see here from the Chiefs is that they're going to try and vacate the middle of the field by taking the running back and sending him out in pre-snap motion, sending him to the sideline. That's going to take Zack Baun away from the middle of the field. You're running an in-breaking route to Travis Kelce. And so if we go to the next shot here, Julia, you could see the route concept where basically you're going to get the shallow crossing route from the number one receiver, and then Travis Kelce's going to break outside before sliding inside. Again, if you are an Eagles fan, watching during Zach Ertz's time, you saw him run this concept on 3rd down, 4th down, and in the red zone, like countless times for big plays. This is a great concept. I call it a follow concept because essentially that second receiver, Kelce, is following the shallow crossing route from that outside receiver. Now, the Eagles are in man-to-man coverage here on this play. It's a 5-man blitz. So when in man-to-man coverage, if you're playing with one single high safety, which you could see Mukuba there in the middle of the field, he is the single high safety. Those defenders, they have to play with outside leverage. So they are responsible for all of the anything that's going outside. They want to try and funnel it back inside to their help, and Mukuba is their help. Mukuba there in the middle of the hash, he has got to try and make sure he's reading the quarterback's eyes, and he's got to be decisive, especially in the red zone. Things happen so fast. You've got to make sure that you are decisive with your reads. So, Julia, if we go to the next shot here, to shot number 3, you can see now, all right, Kelce, he's face up. He's got good position here for this ball. Blankenship did his job. He is playing this outside in. So, yeah, he's going to give up this catch, but he's hoping that he's able to either make a play through the back shoulder or the Mukuba is able to intersect this throw and make a play on it. Obviously, Mahomes puts this on Kelce, and Kelce drops this ball, but I thought Mukuba did a really good job of being decisive, and he's there to make this play on the bobbled throw, but if he is one step slow, he's not in position to make that play. So I thought he did a really good job. And then the last part of this, actually, if we go to the last shot, him just maintaining the catch like through contact, running into Blankenship. We've seen that plenty of times where, a defensive player, he makes contact with somebody and then the ball hits the ground. We've seen that time and time again. So the fact that he was able to still come up with this would have been 3rd and goal. And who knows what happens at that point. So great job from Mukuba all around. It was a good concept from the Chiefs, but really well executed from the Eagles defense as well.
Okay, and that was the big play he made, but we also saw him make a play in the backfield of the Chiefs earlier in the game when he combined with Zadarius Smith on a sack of Patrick Mahomes. How did Vic Fangio dial that bad boy up?
Yeah, this was a really cool play. Just kind of going back and honestly going through some of the numbers from last week as well. So I've got 2 Mukuba plays here. I want to make sure I hit on the 3rd down play as well, the 3rd and 1 stop. But we'll do the sack because that happened first in the game. So Julie, if you go to Mukuba sack 1, we'll take a look at what this play was. Now it's 3rd and 8, so it's 3rd and long, and you see Mukuba is down in the slot. So they're playing a dime defense here with 6 DBs on the field. Now they did this a couple of times last week against Dallas, where Sidney Brown came on as the deep safety, Mukuba came down as the extra slot defender. On those 2 times, well, technically it was 3, but one of them was a spike. So we'll say it was 2 real snaps against the Cowboys. It was no blitz, and you had essentially like a bracket or a 2-man type of coverage there from the Eagles. So there was no sign of pressure. And before the snap, Mahomes is surveying. He's like, yeah, this looks like what they did last week. This looks like it's some kind of man coverage. You've got 3 over 3 to the bottom with Mukuba over the number 3 receiver, Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell also to the bottom of the screen. You've got Adoree Jackson to the boundary at the top. And again, you've got the 2 safeties, Blankenship and Brown, deep outside the frame. It's a basic 4-man rush. This is a pretty simple read for Patrick Mahomes. Julie, if we go to the next shot here, since they are treating this as this isn't going to be a blitz, but this is going to be a basic 4-man rush, you can look in the circle there. The center, Creed Humphrey, he is sliding towards Jalen Carter. Carter was lined opposite the pressure. So this is actually a really smart alignment from the Eagles as well. If you assume that Jalen Carter is going to draw the extra attention, if all things are equal on a 3rd and long, all right, well, now we are going to send pressure off the weak side of the protection. And so you've got the center sliding away from the blitz. Now you've got Jordan Davis one-on-one, Nolan Smith one-on-one. No one is there to account for Drew Mukuba. We see that explosive speed really show up here. The safety is going to come down and pick up number 3. Mahomes never sees this coming. Just an outstanding job from the Eagles here on this play, and it becomes a sack for Drew Mukuba. Zadarius Smith combining there in the backfield as well. Both edge rushers did a good job of clearing the edge, but I thought that was well designed from the Eagles. Nice little change up off something that they showed last week out of dime, and they were able to get pressure on Mahomes.
And a good finish on that play too, because I've seen guys come in clean there, and then Mahomes sort of slink through. Mukuba held on to the leg and was able to let Zadarius Smith finish it off.
And we saw it earlier in the game. Mahomes was able to give it to Mahomes a little bit, early on in the game and shake a tackle from Mukuba. So, we definitely saw it go both ways here.
Okay. Now, you also wanted to talk about the 3rd and 1, so let's see that one as well.
Yeah, let's take a look at the 3rd and 1. So, Julia, this is just Mukuba tackle. This is, again, it's 3rd and 1. This was a great play. So it's 3rd and 1. And honestly, going back to Eagles 26, the 2010 Eagles, this is right in Vinny's wheelhouse here. This is a play that Vinny has seen of the Eagles offense run hundreds of times. This is mesh. This is a mesh play, a great man-to-man coverage beater where the first read from Mahomes, you can see his eyes kind of peeking here. He wants the running back out of the backfield on the wheel. Jahad Campbell's all over it. So once he sees Mahomes, once he sees Campbell kind of scrape over Quinyon Mitchell, and he's now in clean position to pick up this wheel route, now he has to get to his second read in the progression. And that second read is going to be the slot receiver, Hollywood Brown, running the shallow cross. Now, Julia, if we go to the next shot here, the hole player, the rat player here on this play in cover 1 is Zack Baun. And Baun does a really good job here of just slightly stepping up. He's entitled to some of that grass as well. He can't impact the receiver that close to the line of scrimmage, but he can step in the way. And as long as he doesn't draw contact, he does a good job. Hollywood Brown, once he sees, Baun's in the way. If I don't clear this middle of the field defender, Mahomes is going to get off me, and he's not going to be able to hit me here for a first down. So Hollywood Brown, you can actually see it on the next shot, Julia. He completely takes himself behind the first down marker, and you see Mukuba, who's in man-to-man coverage here on Brown, straight one-on-one man-to-man coverage. He's now scraping this over the top, and again, the decisiveness really shows up. You can see that Mahomes is about to let go of this football, and there's about 5 yards of separation between Mukuba and his assignment, and you just see him close fast and finish. And we'll just go to the last shot here, Julia. It does a nice job finishing one-on-one and making the stop short of the goal or short of the first down marker. The Eagles come out, 4th down. Great job by Nolan Smith and Zadarius Smith, Jordan Davis. Those guys all combined there for a stop on 4th and 1 to start the second half. So, overall, this was a really good game here from Drew Mukuba. Wasn't all perfect. He had a couple things that might have been questionable. I'm going to second guess, until I see the film. But overall, a really nice night from the rookie.
That one though, Vinny, you loved that hit.
Oh, that was crazy. He redeemed himself. We was just like, damn, Pat, Pat done load the shoulder on him. Like,
he's too small.
As a rookie, I was like, hey, gotta get the Wheaties. And then he came back and delivered the boom. I was like, all right, you got that one. You got that one.
All right, Fran. So the negative. You are able to break down to some degree the Tyquan Thornton long touchdown at the end.
I would have loved if we had gotten an all 22, but kind of piecing together some of the replays that we did get briefly after the commercial break. I think I have an idea of what may have happened here. So Julia, let's go to the first one, Tyquan TD1, where we're going to take a look. Pre-snap, what it looked like here on the left side of the screen. And you can see that you've got Thornton and Brown lined up to the left, pretty cut splits here. It looks like this was a cover 4 look from the Eagles, again, based off of the limited replays we've got. So Quinyon Mitchell, he's going to be responsible for his quarter of the field. Reed Blankenship responsible for his quarter. You've got Mukuba and Adoree Jackson over on the other side, outside of the frame. Now, the Chiefs run a great quarters beater. It's called a Mills concept. This was popularized by Steve Spurrier of the University of Florida, back in the 90s. Let's go to the next shot here, Julia, and you can see why this is such a good quarters beater, where you're going to have Marquise Brown running the deep in cut, all right? And then you're going to have the deep post over top of that. Thornton, number 80, is running the deep post right at Blankenship. Now, Blankenship, he has got to trigger on number 5, on Hollywood Brown. So he has got to make sure that he steps into that route, and now he's going to have to make sure one of my teammates in the secondary is going to pick up the deep post. So I don't think that Blankenship was wrong here on this play. I think Blankenship is doing the right thing. And again, I want to see this based off the all-22, but based off what I'm seeing here, I think Blankenship plays this right. And you can see, if we go to the next shot, he's wide open. Like Thornton there's nothing but green grass on the other side. So as soon as I see that, and I saw Quinyon, as soon as the ball was caught, he starts looking around. He looks, and I'm like, okay. To me, there was something else amiss here. We know how much zone coverage the Eagles play. So where did the bust come from? So let's go to the next shot here. And this was a wide angle they showed from the spider cam after the commercial break. Now, what we see is that this was a closed formation from the Chiefs. So it's a 4-by-1 formation. We've got the running back to the left and 3 receivers to the left, and you have just a tight end to the right, number 83, Noah Gray. Adoree Jackson is all the way up pressed on the line of scrimmage against Noah Gray. Now, he's not blitzing here. He honestly, it looked like it may have been a blitz, but then he kind of falls off and stays with Gray in coverage. So I think he was just being aggressive here early and down, knowing he's going up against a tight end. He wasn't worried about getting beaten vertical by a bigger body. So I think he was just being aggressive in coverage. But you can look at Patrick Mahomes here. His eyes are all to the right. And Julia, if we go to the last shot, you can see that as he hits the top of his drop, he is looking right at Mukuba. And I think that Mukuba, typically what the rules are in quarters, guys, is if you are facing a 3-by-1 set, so 3 receivers to the other side, that DB, that safety, Mukuba, he has got to be looking to the strong side of the field. He's got to trust, hey, Adoree Jackson, he's got the tight end on lock. I'm not worried about that. I need to be worried about all the other pass catchers on the other side, because chances are they're going to be running a concept like this where I have got to make sure I pick up one of these crossing routes coming this way. So whether or not he is in position to pick up that in cut from Hollywood Brown or get over the top of the post route to try and deter the throw from Patrick Mahomes, my gut, based off these TV angles, is that this is more on Mukuba as opposed to Quinyon or as opposed to Reed Blankenship here on this play. So again, it's one of the plays I'm most excited to watch when I go back to the all-22 tomorrow, but based off of these angles, I feel more confident in saying that this is on the rookie here on this play.
Damn, Rook.
Well, that's interesting. So why is Mukuba responsible for the one over the top and not the one that's coming more directly towards him?
And that's one of those things where I want to be able to see, like, is Reed trying to pass that off?
Yeah.
And then he doesn't. And so that's why you almost kind of read the body language there. So a lot of that has to do with like depth of route and where his eyes should be. So the Eagles were so good at this for the majority of last year. And then when I go back to like that 2022 defense that lost in the Super Bowl to the Chiefs, like, those guys were so good at picking up those routes and doing a really good job of those pass offs in the middle of the field. So you've seen this a lot here with this defense, but obviously on that play did not work, and they were able to hit it for the big play.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, Fran, 2 things. One, is the collared shirt just for us, or do you rock that on NFL Sundays at home too?
Literally just pulled it off the hanger just for you and all of our all of our thousands of friends here watching.
No pants. And then second, I was curious on the other kind of blown coverage play to your naked eye. Yeah. What did you see go wrong there? The pass wasn't completed. Mahomes overthrows him. But that could have been an absolutely game-changing play.
Yeah, they didn't show a great angle on that one. He was wide open. I that's another one I want to wait and see. It could have been it was a similar kind of concept. The route came from the opposite side. But they didn't show a good enough angle there for me to make a determination there.
I guess I'll have to find out on allphly.com or
That's
something,
right.
or maybe watch the Eagles show tomorrow at 2:00.
On the show tomorrow, I'll have answers tomorrow at 2:00.
Good tease, very good tease. Did you also want to break down the Mahomes touchdown if we're talking negative things on defense?
No, honestly, I didn't do the diagram of that one, but on that one, Jacorian Bennett's just got to do a better job, guys, of getting off that block in a scramble drill situation. I know that was a play where Adore was out, so Jacorian Bennett was in there, just got stuck on the block far too long, and Mahomes was able to get outside. They made a good adjustment in terms of keeping him bottled up in the second half. He was a lot less dangerous with his legs, but this shouldn't have been a surprise considering what he did last week against the Chargers, where Mahomes was really, really efficient and effective as a scrambler.
Did you notice anything from the TV copy of things changing in the second half on why they were able to snuff that out?
No, that's what I want to see. Like, did they do more from a rush lane standpoint? Vinny, I'd be interested to see it. I don't know, Vinny, if you saw anything, but there was nothing that stood out to me watching live. That'll be something I'll keep an eye on when I go through the film in the morning, though.
Okay. Go ahead, Vinny.
No, I was saying, I thought majority of the time is behind that sticks. So he was trying to get the ball out quick. You see the one pass that he rushed to Kelsey and hit the dirt. Thank God it hit the dirt. But you know what I mean? Just things like that. I just think he was trying to rush even more time because, like I said, he was dialing it up. Vic was dialing it up on him. As the game went on.
Yeah, and they come out and get that fourth down stop right away. Go ahead.
I was really surprised by the amount of blitzing that we saw from the Eagles, and that's what when you go up against Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson, like, you got to throw them things they didn't expect. You got to keep them on their toes. And I like the aggressiveness there from Fangio and the willingness to change up.
And that was something that he haven't really had on film. Really haven't had that on film, but to put that on tape and to trust the young guys to do it. It says lots about what we have and what the future holds.
Yeah, well, and that's because it portends well for this defense. If everybody stays healthy, should only be getting better.
That's what I'm saying. Yep.
All right, other side of the ball, Fran. I believe you have the Saquon touchdown to break down for us.
I do. I figured, look, just to hear Vinny say it, like I feel like we gotta put it in there.
Who scored the first touchdown of the game?
Saquon! Hey, when he handed it off, did you see Jalen?
No. Did he do the touchdown right away? Oh, my
God. It was sick, bro. It
really?
was nine when it was. So when he
I don't have it on.
You guys go back and watch it, bro. I seen a couple memes. They was doing
right away.
The Dwayne Wade and LeBron.
Even
though it probably wasn't like that, but it looked like that. It looked pretty cool. It looked pretty sick. Whoever made that meme, it looked pretty sick.
All right, go ahead, Fran.
All right, well, let's take a look. So the first clip, Julia, this is Saquon 1. So really good use of pre-snap motion here on this play from the Eagles, where they're going to send Kylan Granson in motion from right to left. And all that's going to do, it's a very subtle adjustment here from the Chiefs, but they're just going to bump those linebackers over because you're adding a gap over to the left side. They've got to account for that. Rather than sliding the defensive line, they're going to bump those linebackers over one gap. And we can see in the next shot, Julia, if you go to shot number 2, all that does, that gives Cam Jurgens that ability just to be able to get on the outside shoulder of Leo Chenal. And just that extra step, that subtle movement from the motion is just enough. So you see the Cam Jurgens circled up on the linebacker there at the second level. Lane Johnson does an excellent job on the defensive end with the kick out block here. That's going to create the outside lane. And then you're going to get Steen. I didn't circle him, but you're going to get Steen working up to the second level on the nickel corner as well. And now it's Saquon. Next shot, you see Saquon Barkley on easy street. 1-on-1 with a safety. Saquon Barkley is going to win that matchup any way you slice it, whether he's going to try and run away from the guy and erase the angle, or if he's going to run right through him. You know that he's going to make that guy miss with a full head of steam if he's untouched at that point. So Saquon Barkley into the end zone. Great execution up front from the offensive line. The use of pre-snap motion was excellent there on that play. I got to think it was the best 12 personnel or 13 personnel run from the entire afternoon. So a nice job there all around on that play from the Eagles.
Very subtle dig there, which I appreciate, Fran. And we can get into that tomorrow on the show at 2:00. Saquon Barkley in this game, 22 carries for 88 yards. Those numbers look a little bit worse with the carries at the end of the game. I think he was generally efficient in this game. There were just no explosives. Without breaking it down, what were your general thoughts on the offensive game plan in this game?
You know, it's one where I just wish like you've got Tom Brady there in the set in the booth. Like I want to hear him.
Les was all over this.
He was so annoying.
It's just like, go ahead, Les. Give me your complaint about general play-by-play stuff these days.
Well, he won't talk about the game. He has these narratives that he wants to talk about, and he gets lost. And they'll be showing something on camera that's really relevant. Like one time, the Chiefs were going to go for it on 4th down when we were assuming, everyone was assuming they were going to punt, and they're lining up, and Brady's blah, 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 blah. When I talk to so-and-so about such and such, I talk about the game sometimes, like what's on the screen. You know, by that's what I mean by the game, not something you've noticed from Patrick Mahomes through the years, or there's a lot of that.
Jalen Carter was holding his wrist, and they're like, "Oh well, he's just happy to be out there with his teammates playing."
Jalen Carter holding his wrist; he's happy to be back.
How about you show maybe why he heard it or how he heard it? Talk about it.
Well, and that's like, so you've got Tom Brady there. Like, I'd love to hear Tom Brady breaking down the Eagles pass game and like what might be going, like when Jalen drops back.
Right.
I wish I could see what he's seeing. Oh, I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it in 12 hours. But like, would have liked to be able to see it in the moment, so we could talk about it intellectually. But yeah, it was definitely apparent that he didn't feel comfortable in cutting loose down the field in a lot of those situations. Now, last week we talked about that and we were like, all right, like it felt like he was making good decisions, and then the film confirmed, like, yeah, Jalen was making good decisions with the football. There were a lot of good turn downs where he didn't force the issue, and so to me, like, I wish we could have seen that in the broadcast, but ultimately, yes, we saw that he did not feel comfortable cutting a lot of those throws loose. We could talk about like the lack of aggressiveness and things like that, but until you see the film, like, I don't want to go too deep into there. To me, Bo, I agree with your earlier point. The amount of like 12 and 13 personnel in the end to say like, all right, we're going to really hammer this home. Without Dallas Goedert, like I just don't. You can't convince me that that's your best personnel grouping and that's getting your best guys on the field. I will say, I don't know if you guys hit on this at the very top, but Bo, it wouldn't shock me if you led with this. Some nice Darius Cooper flashes early in this game, like away from the ball.
I did not lead with that, but I should have.
No, so I'm surprised you didn't. But to me, like
let's do that as 11 instead of having 12. For all the reasons you say.
Yeah, and then to me too, I think the big thing is just like the condensed formations running into a brick wall. Like the tight ends weren't good blocking last week. I will wait for the film for tomorrow, but I can't imagine that that's going to be different here in this game. I will say, like, again, based off what we saw from TV, I thought like, and this is like a process of results. I haven't looked at any of the next gen numbers or any of the true media stuff yet. So I have no idea like what Jalen Hurts' numbers were against the blitz in this game. I have no idea. But I will say, like, if you go back to Jalen from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and he's going up against Todd Bowles and Steve Spagnuolo and blitz heavy defenses, and like the process of like dropping his eyes and let me get rid of the ball fast, or I'm holding on to it too long, and it's that dance back and forth where it's just he's not poised and the timing's not great. He just looked confident. It was the same thing last week. I just thought he looked confident. He looked poised. They're sending extra pressure, whether it was picked up or not. He did a good job of keeping his eyes downfield and delivering. Yeah, they were short of the sticks, but I want to be able to see what those plays looked like, what he was asked to do. But just on first blush, I thought that Jalen played a really good game once again here this one. So I'm excited to go back and look at the film.
Fran, you see what happens when you got a Lombardi trophy? Hey.
That's right. You give it that little extra juice, man.
That's Lombardi, Jalen. You know, when he got that trophy, that man looked so confident and smooth, no blitz. He already knew what he wanted to do with it and everything. I agree.
I totally agree with you. Go ahead, Fran.
No, to me, like we've seen him make like these like incremental like improvements over the years, right, in certain areas of his game, and I just feel like at some point like the light goes on for guys. We've seen this time and time again. That's why not to get like on a soapbox and go too far down a rabbit hole here, but I think it's incumbent upon organizations to do everything they can in a quarterback's first 5, 6, 7 years, set them up for success, give them as much confidence as you can, because at some point you get that graduate degree. At some point, like the light bulb comes on, and it's usually year 5, year 6, year 7. Like Mahomes has talked about this. So many other quarterbacks have talked about this, where you don't know what you're doing. You're kind of flying by the seat of your pants the first few years, but then at some point, it's like Neo in the Matrix, and it just clicks. And so to me, like I don't know if that's quite what has happened, but it might be what has happened with Jalen, where like he has kind of reached that level where he's just everything is slowing down, and you're seeing him just look really, really confident, decisive on the field.
I thought that Devontae Smith play down by the goal line was like a perfect example of that. I don't know if he makes that throw 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and he just kind of saw it coming, was cool, calm, collected, threw it up and let his guy go make a play on it.
And it's funny, Jamie, because that back in 2022, this is the year they go to the Super Bowl. Early on, blitzing Jalen was a good outcome for the defense. The first few weeks of that season, teams were having success, and you saw it was like mid-season. Basically, the Eagles' answer was, all right, if we think they're blitzing, we're just going to throw a fade to Avante or to AJ and Devontae like that. We're just going to throw it. It's going to be bombs away, and we're going to let those guys make a play. And so it was nice, like, to kind of see that again. You see that aggressiveness. But to your point, I don't think this was like a predetermined, like, all right, I'm just going to drop back and just let this loose and go make a play. I think this was like again, like the confidence and the poise, because it goes along with everything that we saw earlier in the game based off what we saw in the broadcast. So I am excited to see Jalen's ultimate performance once we go through the film in the morning.
It was the best 101-yard performance I've ever seen.
Well, and I totally agree with you that he is seeing it well, and it's clear he knows where his answers are against the blitz. And it bears out a little bit. Now this is a little bit wonky because there might be some of these blitz numbers that change. But according to True Media, by the success rate against the blitz, this is a pretty poor performance for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense, 33% of the time. However, and by EPA per dropback, it's the same thing towards the bottom half. But if you look at just the time to throw, he's getting it out so quick. And it's like one of the 4 or 5 quickest games he's had getting rid of the ball against the blitz. And so I think those were what the answers were for him. And then you get back to like the play that I will remember if we're thinking about, if you tell us tomorrow that like the downfield concepts were just lacking. There's the one play where he has so much time. He's got like 8 seconds and he ends up having to settle for like a 1-yard completion to AJ Brown coming back toward the ball. Like how is that what's open that late into the down?
Yes, there were a couple other ones as well. There was the Saquon Barkley check down to the far left sideline, which was very similar to something that happened last week, and that was there was like a good check down from Jalen. But that's why I want to be able to see from the film and see if that was the case. But it's tricky, and it could be just one of those things where, like, all right, you have a new coordinator, new play caller, they're feeling each other out. You didn't have AJ Brown in the throughout most of camp, and maybe all right, you get to week 4, week 5, week 6, and things start to click. But definitely something to monitor, certainly over these first couple weeks.
Yeah, it felt also like I'd be curious to hear what you think tomorrow, but it felt like play action was very low in this game. Maybe that's a result of being expecting lots of blitzes, and you think you're going to get crushed, but. We saw the Chargers do that with plenty of success last week, so curious one. All right, Fran, you have given us a lot to chew on. Thank you very much on the Ashley Fran's Film Room. We will talk to you tomorrow on the show at 2:00 as we break down the All-22. But for now, we thank you very much. The chat is loving what you're bringing to the table.
Fran. Yeah.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, let's go to break, and then we'll come back with much more on the other side.
Well, on the other side, I got to get Vinny's input into some smack talk. We'll call it live on mics at the end of the game.
Yes. Oh, you can play it for us.
Well, I don't think so.
There's a word in there.
Yeah, there's a couple bad words, but we'll get Vinny's opinion on Chris Jones and Jalen Hurts' smack talk.
We'll do that on the other side.
A little SEC on SEC.
Bet365 has 90 million users worldwide, and they live stream over 780,000 events each year with early payout offers across the NBA and NHL. Bet365 pioneered live in-game betting, and today they offer the widest range in games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 sports. Hopefully, you took advantage of the Sunday single-game parlays where you can bet parlays totaling up to $20 on Sunday's games, and you get up to $25 in bonus bets. Terms and conditions apply. Breaking news from Bet365. New customers now get $300 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code PHLY365, deposit $10, and place a bet for $5 to get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, Philadelphia and beyond, listen up because there's a new name in town shaking up the snack game. As you can tell, I like my snacks. And it's Righteous Felon Craft Jerky. These guys have been running a flavor racket for over a decade, slinging out bold, rebellious, small batch meat snacks made with real ingredients and zero shortcuts. And today we're talking meat sticks. 4 flavor-packed sticks that go way beyond the usual gas station suspects. These are clean label snacks made with real ingredients and zero filler. Just took a bunch with me on the family this weekend up to the Adirondacks. We had the meat sticks all over the car. I love the street taco pork. It's pork, pineapple, and taco style seasoning that hits like an El Pastor taco off the street corner. It's a total flavor bomb, and you can grab all 4 flavors at righteousfelon.com and use code PHLY20 to get up to 20% off your first order. Righteous Felon, high protein, bold flavor, no BS.
All right, back on the PHLY Eagles postgame show presented by Bet365 and Ashley. All right, Jamie, give us the scoop from the field here.
All right, Vinny. So this was the end of the game, and I want to. I think this is another Jalen Hurts win. But you break down Chris Jones' smack talk to him. It's during the kneel down. Mics were hot, I guess, from the overhead, and Chris Jones said to Jalen Hurts, "You don't even have 100 yards." Jalen Hurts said, "We won the bleeping game. Shut your ass up." QB1.
2-0.
I mean,
That's weak on Chris Jones's part.
I mean, listen.
And he did have 100 yards.
It was 101.
he had 101 yards, Chris.
Listen, let me tell you, that's what the game is come to. Everybody's getting messed up. Like, just because he don't have 328, the man is playing. He's playing great football, right? He's playing great football, and he's winning.
But
He's
Chris
winning.
might have started him in fantasy.
But you're right. Like the obsession with
Right.
stats
This shit
is
crazy.
too much.
Yeah.
Like he's 2-0 and Super Bowl MVP, reigning champion. Who
I
cares?
also, you are right, and I also think like if anybody in the world believes that a win is all that matters, it's Jalen Hurts.
That's what I'm
Yes.
saying.
Right.
But I think that's the point. I don't think in like the last 25, we have never seen a quarterback that's not worried about his stats at all, as long as he get the dub.
And I also think there are times when this Jalen Hurts stat line would be more worrisome. And
Yeah.
you know, if
Absolutely.
he was rolling around and he couldn't see anything downfield and he had to throw the ball out of bounds, and you're like, okay, like I need more out of Jalen Hurts. You cannot have watched the first 2 games of the season and tell me that you think Jalen Hurts is not playing awesome.
Come on,
Yeah,
now.
I agree. But yeah, you're talking about games like that Panthers game late last
Right.
season where they're playing the worst team in the league and they ended up with 118 yards passing. What the hell is that?
Right.
This wasn't like that, although
He had,
still want to
the
know.
overthrow to Calcaterra early. He fumbled
Right.
that ball early that Calcaterra picked up. It was an uneven start, but after that, go ahead.
But after that, it was, and the Kevin Patullo thing is what people are going to be focused on, I think, after this game. And, what is going on? Kansas City, if you saw them against against the Chargers, who are no longer in San Diego.
I still do that all the time.
If you saw them against the Chargers, this isn't a great secondary Kansas City has. They have guys that are hurt.
It is also a defensive coordinator that you just game planned for,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
I just don't get why every throw was just so hard today. I really don't. I'm not criticizing Jalen at all, but something's going on there that you can't get these people.
They seemed very aggressive on everything today, the Chiefs. Like they over pursued things. That's why I kept being, I was probably annoying, but I was like, take a shot downfield. First down, take a shot. Because it felt like the Chiefs were like pressing
They're
so
blitzing.
much.
They're blitzing all the time. Why can't you beat that?
Yeah, and even on the routes, it seemed like they were trying to jump everything. And
Did they have more than 11 players out there? What was going on?
It seemed like something was there for the taking today. I'll be curious to watch Fran tomorrow at 2:00 with you guys. Do you think he's got an alarm set for the All-22?
he doesn't need an alarm.
It's just natural.
Yeah.
But I'll be curious to see what he sees because it did feel like something had to be there today.
Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe not. Maybe you just give credit to Steve Spagnuolo.
to watch. All right, we have some graphics we can show you. We've got the Andrew Mukuba stuff. Obviously, we've talked plenty about him being an important player in this game. There he is, the player of the game for defense. Although, again, Fran will tell us if maybe he was the one at fault on that long touchdown to Tyquan Thornton. But Vinny, we got to send it to you now because it is time for the Righteous Felon Beef of the Week. Now, remember, this goes to the lineman player of the game for the Eagles. So, could be offensive line, could be defensive line. You know, I think Jalen Carter could have been a focus this week, but he didn't have the most outstanding game. Jordan Davis, who you gave it to last week, he had a very good game.
He was all over the
No,
place.
he was.
I'm curious to hear where you're going to go here.
I wonder if he started cramping up.
Yes, I think he did.
He do.
Yes.
Listen, let me tell y'all something. The last 2 weeks, the man has been playing hard as
Yes.
hell.
And EJ said in the pregame show with
Hard
us
as
that it was hot
Yeah, it
today.
was
He
hot.
said it was like 91, 92. So it was hot out there. So yeah, cramping makes sense.
I should be able to get you playing time stats as well.
I'm going to give it to Zadarius.
There, yeah, I was hoping.
You know, I have to. You know, you get signed the last couple of days, got thrown in the fire, and you deliver, man. You look good. You look good out there. No training camp. I must say, man, you look good out there, man. Hats off to you.
Wow,
Keep
what
up
a
the good work.
performance. I believe, I think I can say this with the clear head. This is the first time that a player has ever debuted with the Eagles and won the Righteous Felon Beef of the Week.
That's good work.
Woo.
We got to get him the whole line. I'm a teriyaki Balboa man myself. Maybe we'll have to send some down to Zadarius. Welcome to town, man.
I'm a Soul Survivor man.
Ooh, those are good.
Yeah.
Mm.
He looks good, and they needed a player of that caliber added to that group, I think.
Yeah,
Oh, God,
absolutely, absolutely. You needed a veteran presence for that group. You know what I mean? So
I feel like you should start stretching now. This is like, you know,
listen. Only thing I can do is be a mascot. You know what I mean? It's just.
But you know, the beat writers were talking about how they gave Zadarius Smith Brandon Graham's locker and kicked Robinson out of it, I believe. Ty Robinson out of that locker to give it to the Zadarius. And that was a conscious
I think
decision.
if I'm BG, I feel some kind of way about that. You know, leave my locker alone.
Is there a methodical order of the locker? You think they got to get a vet in between some of the young guys?
Maybe,
Keep them in line
let's go with that. Let's go with that. Yeah, because Greg won't do nothing crazy like that. You know, so he probably just put it right there. So it's a main focal point. You know, with inside the locker room.
Oh, that's true. It's right in the middle there. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll give you the defensive snap counts here. So, according to True Media, right now, 57 defensive snaps for the Eagles. All 57 for Zack Baun, Reed Blankenship, Cooper DeJean, and Quinyon Mitchell. 55 for Jahad Campbell. That would be the two dime snaps, I would guess. 45 for Jalen Carter, which is a lot, but like just a touch under what would have been his percentage last year. 45 for Mukuba. 43 for Nolan Smith, 41 for Moro Ojimo, 40 for Adoree Jackson, 32 for Jalix Hunt, 30 for Jordan Davis, 19 for Zadarius Smith, the Righteous Felon Beef of the Week recipient, 14 for Josh Uche. So a little bit interesting that Smith comes in and overtakes Uche right away. Mm-hmm. Sidney Brown, 14, Byron Young, 10, Patrick Johnson, 6, and Jacorian Bennett, 5. So there you go. Congratulations to Zadarius Smith.
Jordan Davis, what was up with Tom Brady's body obsession? Can we talk about that for a minute?
Can we lay off Jordan Davis, please?
What is he, the first large defensive tackle in the NFL ever?
Yeah.
Talking about his Peloton seat?
That Tom Brady would be so lucky to be Jordan Davis's Peloton seat.
You think he wants to be?
He keeps talking about it.
And then he's talking about his hamstrings.
I think Jordan Davis looks damn good. He looks better than Tom Brady. His face doesn't look emaciated. You know, he's not clearly on so much plastic surgery. Jordan Davis, you look great. Don't let them body shame you.
But that dude's playing a lot of football.
Yes, he is.
This is like, you know, every season has been, oh, well, Jordan's like lost weight. This is the best he's ever looked, the best he's ever felt. You're seeing it because that dude is playing a lot of snaps. He's busting his ass out there. He's making plays on the sidelines. He came into the season ready to play, and that little golf clap there for Jordan Davis coming into the season.
Yo, in the D-line room, we should say, give him a round of applause. And I mean round.
Okay, I like that. Julia, what do we have on the defensive stats for the defensive performance from this game? Well, this is the head-to-head here. So the interception, 2 sacks, 121 rush yards allowed, and 173 pass yards allowed. But again, that was some garbage time stuff. What did you make of the decision, Les, of Andy Reid to go for the onside kick there?
That was curious to me. 3 minutes left. You're almost certainly going to get the ball back. Mm-hmm. You know, it's such a, you almost never see one of those. There was a game where one was converted today. I guess Carolina, Arizona.
Much to Saul's dismay.
First I think he said 89 onside kick attempts or 79.
He said 89 games in which there was an onside kick attempt.
And I was watching that out of the corner of my eye while the Eagles were playing. It was on the other monitor, and I'm pretty sure it was recovered because somebody from the receiving team touched it like 5 yards instead of waiting for it to go 10. You know, I just think it's such a low percentage thing. I would rather throw a Hail Mary than try to.
You know what's crazy? We're talking about offside kicks. You know, Noah and them lost a game yesterday from an offside kick.
Tell me about this, because you explained this to me, and this is nasty stuff.
Yeah. I mean, from every offensive possession, we scored a touchdown. They kicked the offside kick, and then
it wasn't just one. Like baffled. That's all they did was kick onside kicks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Yeah, they did. I think we lost 2 of them, and it was. they end up losing.
They said they didn't want to put the ball in Noah's hands.
Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy. Way to keep.
You're not teaching that. When youth sports get taken to that level, it makes me sick.
Bro.
Like, stop. Is it W or the L is not the important thing in the game. I mean, I understand that it's important, but like, come on, teach the kids to play the game with some integrity. Like, I would have been my blood would have been boiling. 8-year-olds, like that's ridiculous.
That was crazy, bro. It was crazy. And then
how do you do an onside kick?
In the second half, bro, they had the ball. So it was 8-minute quarters. They had the ball for about 6 minutes and 40 seconds, bro.
They're just draining it.
Oh my god.
Was Noah heated after the game?
Heated. And it was like a rivalry game, but it was good coaching. It was good coaching from the. They got us. That was
debatable.
That was crazy.
He did hit the Jalen though.
Oh, he did.
Jalen Michael.
He definitely did hit the Jalen. He hit the Michael Jordan shrug. He said, I think the Jalen shrug. I said, the Michael Jordan shrug.
Get it right.
But, I know another guy that did that same shrug against the Giants. Second.
Is that DJ?
You tell me.
Vinny Curry.
Oh. The great.
I know that guy.
Okay. I think we I think we have some super chats. We have a super chat that we got to hear from before we get we're waiting on EJ Smith in a little bit. Roger says, "Dare I wish the tush push gets banned next year to force the offensive minds to innovate and throw downfield." It's not a bad idea.
I don't think you're going to throw downfield on 4th and 1.
No, but you know what? Maybe it would get them in the lab to think of some other stuff.
Okay.
How hot do you think the Patullo hears it this week?
I think he should be fine. It's
I know it's a win.
We got to allow for growth.
But he's gonna hear it.
I don't know who's gonna hear it more, him or like Jeffrey from the league office. Like, you're ruining the game. Troy Vincent is yelling at women and what?
I think a little bit of both. I think you're gonna get a lot of complaint about the tush push, but I also think they're gonna, like I said, we want to. As spoiled fans, we want to see the playmakers make plays.
Yeah.
We want to see AJ and Smitty do their dance in the zone.
And I'm sure Lurie, who's paying, AJ Brown top of the league money, wants to see AJ Brown involved in games. I know W's are W's, but like I always think back to that game in Green Bay a couple years ago where Lane was like, it started the run the ball movement, and they want their big players to make plays, and I feel like Lurie and Howie at some point are going to want to see these guys get involved in the game plays too.
I have to believe that this is the worst back-to-back performances receiving yards wise for AJ Brown in his career. I mean, 8 targets, 5 carries for 27 yards. Oof. It's either that AJ is not fully healthy or the offense is not doing enough to help him out.
Yeah, I well said. I think that's definitely one of the two. Yes.
Or a combination.
Well, when listen.
Yeah, that's fair.
Come on now. We got to get him going, man.
But Devontae's healthy.
And it's the same thing other than the one jump ball that he caught. It's the same thing for him. He's catching a lot of 3-yard passes.
Yeah.
I don't quite get it.
Yeah, this is one where we'll next gen stats will release the route chart, and it's going to look like a lot of similar stuff.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's take our last break here, because on the other side we are going to be joined from Kansas City by the great EJ Smith on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line. But first, a word from our sponsors.
And Ashley's Labor Day sale is going on now, and you can shop now and pay later with 0% interest until 2030. Only at Ashley. This Labor Day at Ashley, the deals work harder than ever. For a limited time, take home the furniture you love now and pay over time with no interest financing until 2030. That's right. Style, comfort, and savings without the wait. But hurry, this offer won't last. Celebrate Labor Day the Ashley way. Shop today and enjoy no interest until 2030.
Friday night, Omaha Steaks came in very handy for me. You know, they had sent us some very nice quality meat to cook at home. And I did the burgers, the filet mignon burgers that they sent. And the grill wasn't working. So I did a little pan fry on the
skillet
action.
Okay.
You know, searing it hard both sides, and I used the Omaha seasoning that they gave as well. And these things were a huge hit. I thought it was delicious. Everybody else thought it was a delicious Friday night dinner, and it was so convenient, and it was high quality. We're talking grass-fed, grain-finished beef that has more marbling for exceptional flavor and is the choice of steakhouses and professional chefs around the world. Omaha Steaks has been America's original butcher since 1917, a family-owned company with over 100 years of experience in the meat industry. Get fired up for fall grilling with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Red Hot Sales event and for an extra $35 off. Use promo code EAGLES at checkout. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com and an extra $35 off with promo code EAGLES at checkout. See site for details.
And when you have that delicious meat, you're going to want to sit comfortably. And with Ashley's Labor Day sale going on now, you can shop now and pay later with 0% interest until 2030. Only at Ashley. My wife and I, when we make a big purchase and there's a 0% financing option and you get a couple years to pay it off, it's an absolute no-brainer. The Labor Day sale at Ashley has deals working harder than ever. And for a limited time, take home the furniture you love now and pay over time with no interest financing until 2030. You don't have to drain that checking account all up front. That's right. Style, comfort, and savings without the wait. But hurry, this offer won't last. Celebrate Labor Day the Ashley way. Shop today and enjoy no interest until 2030.
All right, Vinny, let's see that photo you got here.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Let's pull this bad boy up, and I'll take this opportunity to remind everybody that it is September, which is a big month for our friends at Big Brothers Big Sisters. Now is the time to become a little bit goes a really long way. And this is one way where, with so much going on in the world, you can really make a difference in your community. All right, let's see this hitting the shrug against the Giants.
See the shrug. I'm not sure if
You
guys
can.
can see
I
that.
think we could. It's who'd you sack? Eli? Had to be Eli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No big deal. He said the shrug. It's fantastic.
Yeah, you know, my wife said that. She said, show him.
Good. She's right. She's all over it.
But were you looking at Jordan up in your box when you hit the shrug?
I wish.
Not many people can say that.
Nah.
Jalen was looking.
He might have been there.
What
You
I
never
want
know.
to say, but Ashawn did have a pair of Jordans, you know. In the
He
locker.
did,
Yeah.
yeah.
He actually had a pair of Jordans waiting for the next game. I was excited.
Okay. All right. That's true. I like
Then I wore them to Nike. Say, yo, what you doing?
All right, let's head to the Xfinity Mobile call-in line to Kansas City. Our Eagles insider on the scene with his Chiefs red on the microphone. There it is. EJ Smith, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. No, I just got back from the Eagles locker room. It's a very funny thing. I don't know if Vinny, I don't know if you remember this, but like the Chiefs, like, you know, the ground floor around the locker room, the hallway is so tight. And it's like a funny thing in life where like every single person, it doesn't matter who you are at the mercy of this very tight, compact hallway. So we saw like Tom Brady, Brett Veach, many important people waiting at the mercy of this very tight hallway and the traffic.
You know what?
that
It's good
builds
for
up.
Tom Brady to be on even footing with Jordan Davis when it comes to getting through a tight hallway. I appreciate that. You know what? You had a funny, interesting thing about that field, Vinny. What were you saying about that field?
I was telling them that we was watching a little bit of Slippery here. I said, I just hope that field wasn't so sleek. You know how hot it is from the humidity.
Yeah.
You know, the sweat, the fields, the grass, especially that grass, they probably just sawed it. I said, ooh, it got to be
Like
wet
the
out there.
sweat
Yeah.
would pick up on that field more so than other fields. That's interesting.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's a couple fields around the league that does that, but That's definitely one of them. Others like Pittsburgh, Baltimore, it just starts sweating.
Ooh, I don't love that.
Yeah, I mean, you could feel the humidity even in the Eagles locker room after the game. Like, definitely a weird weather day here for sure.
All right, EJ, what was the general tenor in the locker room? We've been talking, a very good win, obviously, against a very good team on the road. Some things to work on offense. What was the general vibe?
Yeah, it's funny. So the Chiefs locker room, the visitors locker room is kind of broken apart. So, well, not broken apart, but sectioned off where the defensive players are on one side and the offensive players are on the others. And that did contribute to like a kind of just a very different energy on one side and the other. So on defense, those guys are really excited. We heard from Andrew Mukuba after the game, and I couldn't hear him for half of his interview because Zack Baun and Reed Blankenship and all the defensive linemen were shouting his name and, kind of just, making sure to embarrass the rookie. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They were all kind of screaming out. So there was a lot of excitement on the defensive side. But then on the offensive side, I think those guys, they kind of acknowledge that there's still things to work on. I thought this quote from Lane Johnson was really, really telling, and I'm going to clean it up for our listeners. He says, "If it comes down to crappy, ugly football, but we're winning, I'll take it." He was answering whether or not it's sustainable for the offense to look like this. He talked about how the offense is still kind of searching for what they're going to be able to lean on, what they're going to major in, and talked about how defenses are really, they spent an offseason trying to figure out how to slow the Eagles offense down. And I think the ripple effect that we're starting to see is that the explosive plays are not as easy to come by for that group. So definitely a message from a lot of guys. Even Nick Sirianni said like that there's a lot to work on, especially with the explosive play factor on offense. But again, a solid win. I think that, obviously a win that they can be proud of.
No doubt about it. Now, my counter to the explosive plays are not coming is, okay, last year we got so many explosive plays from the running game. If those are not going to come from the running game, can we manufacture them from the passing game? And I know that is easier said than done. They took a couple shots downfield today. The Devontae Smith was a huge play in the game. The other one would have been if they had not picked up the flag. From being there live and watching, what did you make of the way that the passing game functioned?
Yeah, I think it does look disjointed. I think that's the area that I point to. And I think that you put it well. Like, the running game really did kind of paper over the lack of explosives in the pass game. And when you look at the talent that they have on the perimeter and the matchup we talked about going into this game, I do think that it left something to be desired. I want to watch the All-22 back to really get a sense of what really went wrong and why those opportunities weren't downfield. I think, again, like the players talk a lot about the way that defenses are presenting to them, like the two high safeties. And, Lane always talks about, manipulating things with the linebacker where those guys are aligned. So there are things that I want to, again, look out for in the All-22. But to me, in person, it did feel like this passing game just never really got going, especially when it came to.
Uh-oh.
Raj got the internet.
And again, when you look at that you would expect, they'd be able to figure out. Uh-oh. You got me?
We got you now.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy?
Okay.
The only thing that's mind-boggling bothering is that I just hope that these DBs don't think they took our guys out the game. That's not getting into that. Like,
right, they took out AJ.
I took him out the game. He only had. No, that's not what happened. Because I'm going to keep saying this, blue in the face. Can't no DB in the league hold A.J. Brown one-on-one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why he's not getting them, right?
I know that competitive nature in him and Smitty is burning. Because you know how they go back to the stat thing. You didn't have 100 yards. Like, what? We won the game. But the DB, well, at least I shut him down. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. It's crazy. It's just crazy. That's the thing that us Eagle fans are waiting to see, because we don't. You can't stick him, So they're going to have to figure it out fast.
Yeah, we heard from AJ after the game. I got in there late, but I think it's pretty much the same thing we've seen from AJ since the start of the regular season. It was very careful. He doesn't answer every question. When he was asked about what he said to Kevin Patullo during the game, trying to figure things out, he said, "I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to leave that private." I think that you can tell that there's a frustration from him, but again, a measured frustration and an understandable one to a certain degree. He did have more targets today, but maybe not the types of targets you'd expect for him to be able to rip off. So yeah, it's definitely something to it's something to monitor for in these next couple of weeks to see how the pass game progresses. It's easy when you can lean on the fact that you won, but again, I do wonder, like, what does this game look like if Travis Kelce catches that pass instead of hands it directly to Andrew Mukuba in the end zone? So yeah, I think that's it depends on how you want to look at it. You can feel like it's an encouraging sign. It's kind of the way that I'm choosing to go with this here, because they came to a hostile environment, a tough place to win on the road, and they came out with a win. But they do have room for improvement. And I think, again, you can take that as a positive, or you could take that as a sign of concern that the passing game hasn't really looked the way that we expected it to. But again, I just keep going back to thinking, like, it didn't look the way we wanted it to for most of last season too. It took them time to figure it out. So yeah, definitely not the most encouraging performance from the passing game, but as a team, I did think that it was a good performance from this Eagles team.
I think we got to call it a pass game calling, because Jalen is playing good.
Yeah,
so it ain't him. It's just the play call that's coming in. No,
I completely agree. I think that this is more about scheming guys open, the opportunities that are there for Jalen. Because I think that Jalen has played well in these first two games within the framework of what the scheme has given to him.
What was Lane's perspective? Because obviously he is someone who has been around it for a while and is a reliable narrator.
Yeah, I thought that was why what he said about, like, if it's ugly, I don't mind. He hopes it's sustainable, but I think that there is this very interesting, undertone with this offense where they don't really know what they are yet. They don't know what they're going to lean on quite yet. And this is something that is probably exacerbated some by Kevin Patullo being the offensive coordinator, and the flow of the play calling and just the flow of the game being different than it was last year. So that was the sense I got from talking to Lane, is that they still haven't quite figured out what it's going to be. I think that they're talented enough up front and with Saquon Barkley to win games by grinding it out the way that they did today. But I mean, Nick Sirianni always talks about two things, right? He talks about winning the turnover battle, and he talks about winning the explosive play battle. Sometimes those come at odds with one another. Sometimes if you're not being aggressive downfield, you can win the turnover battle like you did today, but it comes at the expense of the other. So to me, I think Lane really harped on finding out what this team is going to be good at, finding out what concepts they can lean on. And I just don't think they've really found that out yet. Now, would you have liked to see them figure it out by now? Would you have liked to see them figure it out in training camp? I think that's fair, but I do think the fact that they're picking up wins while figuring that out, again, it's not a bad place to be. You're 2-0, still trying to figure out the pass game.
Okay. Meanwhile, EJ, the defense, another impressive performance for them, and probably a step forward from last week. Now, they do get the interception handed to them, like you said, but what did they say about the game, and were there any kind of adjustments they made to make sure that Patrick Mahomes didn't kill him with his legs in the second half?
Yeah, Andrew Mukuba, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, they all talked about how Vic Fangio was aggressive in this game. There were more blitz calls in this game. Obviously, he didn't blitz very much against the Chiefs, or in the Super Bowl, but it was definitely a more aggressive call for them today. I talked to Andrew Mukuba about his half sack with Zadarius Smith. Andrew Mukuba said he's never had a sack in a football game. Like, not in high school, not in college.
Really?
I almost don't believe him. Like, he's a good enough athlete. You think he would have had one at some point, but yeah, we got.
He also said he never had a pick six before the preseason pick six.
Yeah.
Well, he still doesn't have one.
He's got to keep this going.
Not a real. Yeah,
That's a good bit.
Oh, I've never won Super Bowl MVP before.
But yeah, Mukuba said he was really surprised that he came free on that blitz. And I don't know, from watching it looked like it was just a really well-designed blitz that took advantage of the fact that they were sliding the defensive line toward Jalen Carter. So, those guys talked about
it, EJ. Fran broke it down frame by frame for us.
Ooh, love that. Love that. I'm going to have to watch that back. But yeah, Jalen Carter, I should say. Oh, man, am I frozen again?
Nope, you're good. Go ahead.
You got me?
Tell us about Jalen Carter.
Okay. So yeah, we heard from Jalen Carter after the game. Interestingly, told us that Nick Sirianni really puts their conversation was a positive one. He said that he brought some positivity, spoke positivity to him is the expression he used, and said that that's what he needed. Nick Sirianni said after the game that, he prioritized being positive with Jalen. He had a reference saying that everybody needs to feel loved and supported. So an interesting message. Nick Sirianni finally kind of opening up about what this week has been like from behind the scenes with Jalen Carter. But no, I think that Jalen Carter had a very quiet. Let me put it this way. He's not going to show up in the stat sheet, but I think he had a real impact on the game.
Mm-hmm.
You could see the opportunities that he opened up for others, even on Mukuba's interception in the end zone. Jalen Carter was like, I'm not sure if I got my hand on that. Afterward, we were like, you just got to take credit for that. Like, if you tell us you did it, we'll all believe you. So, but yeah, no, I think you could see his impact on the game, even though it might not show up on the stat sheet.
Right. I think this was his first game kind of being the Batman out in front,
right.
So getting slid to and being his first one in, just got to knock the rest off a little bit.
I like watching the game with you, Vinny, because you're all over it. Like you're calling out, this one he's lined up wide, and Jalix Hunt is inside. And he's running up, he's going up against the left tackle. Like you're all over it.
Because you have to do things like that. You got to know that they're not going to let him tear them up by himself. And like this was like his first. Getting his feet wet. I guarantee you, next week he'll take over the game.
And EJ, as somewhat of a result of that, you got your Moro Ojimo sack.
Did you guys talk about Super yet? Because
no, we don't talk about that until Thursday.
Oh, come on! But you can tease it. I think this is a good week. You didn't talk about it because it was a good week for me.
All right, what else did you learn from the locker room and/or Nick Sirianni?
Let's see what I have here. I heard from I didn't hear from Zack Baun, but I could overhear Zack Baun talking about the sky being the limit for Andrew Mukuba. Same thing with Reed Blankenship. Those guys are really bullish on him. I found Andrew Mukuba, this was something for you. Andrew Mukuba says that he talks to himself during games, and I found that interesting. He said that after the missed tackle on Patrick Mahomes on that 3rd and short, he was talking to himself on the sideline, and that Reed Blankenship also talked to him on the sideline to kind of just keep him in the game and keep him through the ups and downs, and talked about how he's really hard on himself in a game. So I think after that missed tackle, he maybe was struggling through that a little bit, which is why it was big for him to get the interception there.
That was a welcome to the NFL moment right there for the rope. But he
EJ,
came right back and bounced back.
Did Nick talk at all about his conversation with the officials going off at the end of the first half, where Big Dom kind of was?
No, he didn't talk about. He didn't talk about the conversation he had. He talked about the decision, and he said basically he asked himself, like, what are the chances of us scoring a touchdown on this drive? And that was what led to him kicking the field goal. And then he kind of took a whiff a little bit, if I'm being honest. He said, like, this game came down to 3 points, and I felt like we needed the 3 points.
That is outrageous. It's outrageous. Because he made Jake Elliott kick a 58-yard field goal. First of all, it's so telling on yourself to say you've got Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and we've got 33 seconds from the 35-yard line and 2 timeouts, and I don't really think we have a chance of scoring a touchdown. I hate that. That is loser mentality as far as I'm concerned. And second of all, if you get the first down, which we know he believes in the play, then you can make it an easier field goal, right? A much easier field goal, and maybe that's going to be the difference. So the fact that Jake Elliott bailed him out from 58 yards does not mean he should be taking a whiff over that decision.
Or maybe he feels
the false start
play call himself.
Yeah, the false start from Charlie Hewlett, I feel like that's not baked into Nick Sirianni's decision making.
But an offensive penalty is absolutely baked into the decision. The possibility of a false start is absolutely part of that calculus.
I didn't feel as strongly about it as you. I felt like the 30 seconds left in the half, that kind of informs your likelihood of scoring there is a little bit lower.
A little bit lower? I think
significantly lower. 30 seconds left in the half.
To go with 2 or 3 cowards draws in this game, I mean, you're the Super Bowl champs.
That's a tough one, too, because
put it on.
The analytics aren't really going to give you an opinion on that because it's, I don't know. I mean, maybe they will about like the 30 seconds left, but I feel like that is more of a gut thing. And, we know Nick Sirianni by now, if it's a gut decision, he's going to be conservative about it.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is what the body of evidence would tell us. I just think that's disappointing.
EJ, is Jalen Hurts Copying your dad's style and fashion?
I think he's just copying most of the Unk fashion. I mean, like, listen, it works out well.
I don't know if you saw EJ's tweet,
This is great. Yeah.
but this is absolutely hilarious. Jalen Hurts' pregame outfit. He texts his
He's
dad
copying
and says,
he is really
I
like a
swear you've worn
65-year-old
this.
man at heart.
And he sends back the
it's
exact
crazy.
outfit.
My dad has that exact the black Kangol that Jalen's got on, like the fuzzy one too. I mean, Jalen, he talks about being an old soul, but man, sometimes like when he's talking or like when he's talking about the music he listens to, I am like, this is literally, like Frankie Beverly, Anita Baker.
Jalen walks,
that is my
he
dad.
hears the Space Jam soundtrack from the first movie.
Yep.
Keep on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future.
I love that.
Oh man. Yeah.
All right, EJ, how was your weekend in Kansas City?
It's good. It's hot here. I mean, this is like as like warm. This is as like cool as I can dress. I don't usually wear a golf shirt to a game, and I'm still sweaty because it is just hot everywhere here. So, but it's been a good trip. Kansas City, nicer than I remembered it from 2 years ago, if I'm being honest. I enjoyed my trip down here.
What'd you get barbecue-wise?
I went to LC's barbecue and enjoyed that thoroughly. I'm like, I know there's like the 3 sides minimum people out there. I'm like a 1 side maximum. If I'm going to a barbecue place, like I'm here for like the brisket and the ribs.
Oh,
like I'm not
here for the sides.
No, I'm here for the business. I'm not here for the snacks.
Let's get the top 3 EJ power rankings of sides.
Vinny, when you're sides or the mains at a barbecue place?
Brisket.
Okay.
Yep. Amen, Vinny. Amen.
Jamie,
I literally just got 2 orders of brisket.
Yeah, I mean, I want the brisket too, but I want to try. I want to try like 3 or 4 sides.
I love
Absolutely.
the pickles. I love beans. I love collards. Like, give me some of that white bread so I can slop up some of the sauce.
Mac and cheese. Come on.
Yeah.
1 side maximum.
Now we can get into Carolina barbecue.
I was just going to say we're not talking about pork barbecue here, but nonetheless, it's still good. I was remiss, EJ. I should have. Years ago, I asked Andy Reid when I was coming out there, and he gave me a very good restaurant recommendation. I can't really remember the name of the place, but
does it start with a Q? Is it the Q40 something? I don't know.
It has like 30 something, and it's 38 or something like that.
Yeah, Q38. I've been there. That's like a high end. Like it's good, but it is definitely like a fine dining meets barbecue. I want like LC's barbecue is like you walk in and your eyes sting because there's smoke in the smoker's in the restaurant, and that's my kind of place. Yeah,
EJ,
that's my type of spot.
Christopher in the chat says he remembers your dad's drip from when he was in high school.
Oh, okay, yeah. My dad is like the mayor of Norristown. He was the vice principal and the football coach for a long time. So yeah, I'm sure that Christopher remembers my dad and his like 50 different suits.
I love that. All right, EJ. Well, safe travels back. We appreciate the download from you on the scene in Kansas City. We will talk to you. We'll see you on Tuesday. Safe travels and, enjoy your time. And tell us actually, before that, what are we going to be reading if we are a diehard on allphly.com tomorrow morning? Oh,
the early bird. Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of stuff in there from the locker room. So you got to make sure to tune in. Some stuff from even late last week. So a lot of good stuff in there.
All right. I look forward to that. Thank you very much, EJ.
Yes.
All right, gentlemen, time to wrap up. Final thoughts. Les, let's start with you. Generally positive, I imagine. But yeah, what will be your lasting memory of this game?
My lasting memory will be the Mukuba.
Yeah.
The ball falling into Mukuba's hands and him taking off, which was, I give him more credit for that, the taking off, because as Fran noted, he was slammed by Reed Blankenship.
Absolutely.
And then he had to sort of work his way to the sideline. He did get run down by an offensive tackle, but I think I saw on social media that Josh Simmons hit like 18.56 miles an hour or something.
That's fast.
Fastest offensive lineman.
300 and some pounds. Yeah. That's pretty good. I don't have anything. I mean, this was kind of what last week was, what we're kind of in a feeling things out kind of situation here.
Which is okay. And to get the wins when you're in filling it out stage
the wins.
is great.
They're not making egregious mistakes by and large. And Nobody important has gotten terribly injured, which is what I'm frankly waiting for in a post-Super Bowl year. You know, that's so common in this situation.
Right.
So, yeah.
All right. Jamie, how about you?
I will always remember I was with you guys when Jalen Hurts made it his league and not Patrick Mahomes. That was the most impressive 101-yard performance I've ever seen. He just feels like he's clicking on all cylinders. And I think, you know, even if the team struggles at times, whether it be cornerback 2 or edge depth or whatever it is, I think Jalen has like gotten past the point where he can just put the team on his back and carry him a little bit. And it's pretty awesome.
All right. How about you, Vinny?
Oh man, I'm gonna go with Uncle Vic here. Just showing that, you know, the trust of the young defense like that, and you know, to put guys in position to make plays and really understand what you have. That's exciting to see for me being a defensive guy. So I'm gonna go Uncle Vic.
I like that very much. Now make sure that everybody is liking the video, subscribing. We're closing on 50,000. We want to get there soon, so let's make that happen. Tell the people in your life about PHLY and the stuff we've got going on. We'll be live 2 o'clock every day this week talking about this game. Live tomorrow with Fran Duffy, a little bit more of that breakdown you saw tonight. And otherwise, that's about all we got.
I mean, a little shield nugget we get out of here that's kind of wild?
I mean, do we have to?
An unnamed source on Twitter.
Okay, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, all right. The Eagles' record the last 2 seasons when they've had fewer than 100 net passing yards is 4-0. The rest of the NFL, when they have fewer than 100 net passing yards, is 5-17. Might be the perfect Philadelphia team, just constantly trolling, as Shield said.
Yeah.
4-0 compared to 5-17. That's pretty wild.
That's an amazing disparity.
Yeah.
That's very good. And I will say that I feel like this Jalen sub 100 performance is different than those other 3 that we have seen.
So much so he's in Chris Jones's head, gotten him talking just gibberish out there.
Good stuff.
Guy's literally kneeling down, and you're talking about his stats. He's giving you the kneel down right in your face, and you're bringing up his stats.
I know. He's, you know what? You should have said, hey, you guys, at least you guys were closer this game than last time. Yeah.
Chiefs are cooked.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. We will talk to you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. We will be back next Sunday for week 3 against the Rams. And until then, thank Julia for making it all happen. And as always, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.